You wake exhausted in a cold wooden hut. Hunger lingers. In 1348,
A cough echoes through the village. Rumors of sickness once felt distant. Now illness stands only a few steps away.
you work land you do not own. The Lord watches from higher ground. Protection comes at the cost of nearly everything you produce.
Fever reaches your household. Your child grows weak on a straw bed. There is no treatment, only waiting.
Burials become hurried and quiet. Bells eventually fall silent. Faith feels distant as losses continue without pause.
Even as numbers shrink, obligations remain. Fields must be worked. Rent is still expected. Illness does not suspend duty. When sickness reaches you, weakness settles quickly. Outside, carts move steadily through the village, carrying those who did not recover.
If you survive, the village feels hollow. Skills vanish. Neighbors disappear.
Fear spreads beyond disease. Communities fracture. Suspicion replaces trust, and social bonds weaken under prolonged uncertainty.
With fewer workers, labor gains value. Lords depend more on peasants. The balance shifts slightly.
Across Europe, entire regions lose a third or more of their people. The scale reshapes economies, beliefs, and daily life. For medieval peasants, survival depended largely on chance. There was no clear strategy, only endurance in a transformed world.
Homes stand open and unattended. Some villagers are too weak to work. Others have already disappeared. Daily life fragments quietly.
Spiritual leaders struggle as well. Some withdraw for safety. Faith continues, yet reassurance feels limited and uncertain.
Local authority persists despite shrinking numbers. Expectations remain in place, reinforcing existing hierarchies even during widespread crisis.
Night brings reflection rather than rest. Uncertainty becomes constant, shaping thoughts about survival, community, and the fragile future ahead.
With fewer hands available, fields stretch quiet and understaffed. Food production slows, increasing pressure on those who remain.
Trust erodes gradually. Neighbors keep distance, unsure who may carry illness. Community routines become cautious and restrained. Some choose to leave in search of safety or work. Movement increases, altering long-standing ties between villages and lords.
With population reduced, surviving workers gain modest leverage. Lords now negotiate more carefully, aware that labor has become scarce. Wages rise in some regions. Agreements shift. Economic pressure forces adjustments, even within long-standing feudal systems.
Authorities attempt to limit wage growth through new regulations. Power structures resist permanent redistribution of influence.
Local markets slowly reopen. Trade resumes cautiously, though supply networks remain fragile and incomplete.
Communities begin reorganizing daily routines. Cooperative labor becomes more necessary than before.
Religious life continues, though attendance and confidence have shifted. Loss reshapes belief in subtle ways.
Across the continent, population decline alters settlement patterns and economic balance for decades.
Specialized skills vanish with those who held them. Recovery requires time and adaptation.
In some regions, social distance narrows slightly. Economic necessity moderates rigid hierarchies.
Demographic loss leaves long shadows. Generations grow up shaped by collective memory of disruption.
Entire age groups diminish in some communities, altering family structures and inheritance patterns.
Gradual recovery appears in trade and agriculture, though stability remains fragile. Agricultural output gradually stabilizes. Negotiations over rents and obligations continue to evolve.
Spiritual practice persists, shaped by grief and reflection rather than certainty.
Over time, subtle social adjustments endure. The crisis leaves permanent marks on hierarchy and expectation.
By mid-century, Europe's demographic map looks profoundly altered. Recovery unfolds unevenly across regions. Agriculture adapts to new realities. Smaller populations cultivate land more efficiently in some areas.
Communities rebuild practical knowledge. Skills are relearned, shared, and gradually restored.
Economic realities encourage cooperation.
Survival after crisis requires adjustment from both peasants and lords. The memory of loss remains embedded in daily life, shaping attitudes for generations.
The pandemic reshapes Europe's social and economic foundations in lasting ways. For a medieval peasant, survival during the Black Death depended largely on chance, endurance, and adaptation to a permanently altered world.
For medieval peasants, the Black Death was not a single event, but a turning point that permanently reshaped daily existence.